Today we're going to continue our series talking about meetings and helping you deliver the best meetings that you possibly can. And today's topic is specifically about team meetings. Now, first thing to establish when we talk about team meetings, this applies to all leaders. So if you're a CEO, it's the meetings you have with your C team. If you're a department head, it's the meetings that you have with your managers. And if you're a manager, it's the team meetings that you have with your staff, your direct reports, if you will. A couple critical components about team meetings right off the bat. Number one is this is about quality of time, not quantity of time. Think about it from the standpoint of, time is, time and talent are probably the two most precious qualities that your people possess. And so if you're going to have them come together for a team meeting, as you should, it's your job to make sure, to the fullest extent or the best of your ability, to make sure that time that you spend together was the best use of their time. And if it wasn't, then, you either need to do a better meeting or you need to have a shorter meeting, but somehow, some way, you have to make it the best use of their time. Now, they own a part of that as well, no question about it. So they have to come and they have to be prepared for the meeting and they have to participate in it, et cetera, et cetera. However, it's a shared responsibility. So if you own the meeting, then it's on your shoulders to at least put together an agenda and talking points and topics that are going to make it the best use of their time. I think about how when I was a branch manager and we had our retail manager meetings, and we had to drive downtown, which was an hour's drive from my branch, and sitting in traffic, which I rarely have ever had to do otherwise. And then find a parking place and, navigate through the busy sidewalks and whatnot. It was a royal pain in the you-know-what to get there. And so often it was so unfulfilling. It's like, really, we could have communicated this by email. It's before Zoom, but if it was at the time of Zoom, we could have said, this could have been a 20-minute Zoom meeting instead of a, 2 to 3 hour in-person meeting downtown. So just be sensitive to those types of things, but use it as a challenge. If you're going to have a team meeting for your team, do what you need to do to make it the very best use of their time. Second point about team meetings is you don't need to lead the team meetings. In fact, I would argue that especially at the C level, you shouldn't lead the team meeting. Now you own it and you're going to kick it off and you're going to, facilitate it, and you're going to make sure that there's a good discussion and everything gets vetted and gets out on the table. And then you're going to summarize it at the end with very clear direction and so forth. But you don't have to do all the talking. And this isn't a presentation by the CEO or the head of retail or the branch manager. Okay. In fact, I think one of the beauties of a team meeting, and this applies as much at the branch manager and department manager level as it does at the C level, is this gives your people an opportunity to participate, to take the lead, to shine, if you will. You're going to learn a lot about them with how much they put into preparing for their part of the team meeting. And so that's a really good learning lesson for them, and it's a really great opportunity for them. The first time they do it, they may not do it very well, but that's okay. keep doing it, keep involving them. But you do not need to lead or deliver, I should say, the entire meeting. And in fact, you should challenge yourself to not lead it entirely or involve them as much as possible in doing it. Now, last thing I want to point about team meetings is there are kind of some general categories, let's call it, that you want to bake into every team meeting. And again, depending on what level you're at, how much emphasis you put on this is going to vary, and how much time you spend on it is going to vary. But nonetheless, there should always be a production component, okay? Hey, where are we in relation to our goals, okay? That could be strategic goals, it could be branch or department goals, doesn't matter. Where are we in relation to our goals? So there has to be some kind of production or slash production goal review, if you will. I would also, as a quick aside, want you to spotlight successes, really trumpet those and really focus on those. All right, second thing is there needs to be some kind of communication update. And this is a big issue with a lot of credit unions, is it seems like communication doesn't cascade down like it should. We hear that all the time from employees. And then also from execs. They say, well, we tell the managers, but then the managers don't tell their people. So there has to be that part of it, okay? Communication of updates and changes, etc. The third part is the one that's oftentimes omitted, and that is there needs to be some kind of skill development. There needs to be some kind of learning, including at the C level, all right? So how are you going to take this information and communicate it back to your team? Or how are you going to take this information and drive change with your team, or use it to have better production and meet your goals and so forth? Let's talk as a team about ways to do that. Let's learn from each other. Let's identify what's worked in the past or not worked in the past, as the case may be. Sometimes, especially at a branch or department level, it really is skills and behaviors. At the C level, it's really more talking about how are we going to do this in a cohesive and unified way, and how can we learn from what's worked and not worked in the past. And then the fourth component to a team meeting, and this is where the leader of the meeting really comes into play, there has to be an objective, a goal as a result of the meeting. So at the end, you essentially say, okay, guys, here's what we agreed to do. Here's what we said our primary focus was. And then next meeting, that's what you're going to start with. So whether it's a week from now or a month from now, hey, over the next 4 weeks, this is going to be our primary focus. And next month, we're going to start that meeting by debriefing on how well we've done. So there's got to be the production component. There's got to be the communication update. There's got to be the skill development and the learning. And there needs to be the goal and objective as you summarize at the end of the meeting. All right. Hope that helps you with your team meetings.